Hello, my name is Dan King, and in this screencast I'm going to show how to use the latest version of xCode, version 4, to use the integrated interface builder portion to automatically generate code for our user interface elements, and in particular a button. We're going to create a button that simply says Hello World, and we're going to use xCode to write a lot of the code for us. So go ahead and start xCode, and you should see the Welcome to xCode project. We're going to go ahead and create a new project for our Hello World. If you're already in xCode, you can come up here to the File, New Project menu option. But for now, I'm just going to come here and create a new project. And in our dialog box here, it's going to prompt us for either an iOS or Mac OS. We want the iOS, and we want to select application, and the type of application we're going to use is a view-based application, just a real simple application with a view already built for us. So we'll select that and click next, and for our product name we're going to click Hello World. There we are, Hello World. Company identifier is a reverse domain lookup. So for example, my website is viewpoint.pro, and so the reverse is pro.viewpoint, and xCode uses this to automatically create a unique bundle identifier. In this case, pro.viewpoint.helloworld. But let's say your website is mycompany.com. So you would type com.mycompany. Like so. And xCode would automatically create that bundle identifier for you. I'm going to go ahead and stick with my own domain. Let's get that out of the way. Pro.viewpoint. And go ahead and enter your own there, and then click next. And I've got a directory called xCode testing that I'm going to put this project in. And xCode is automatically going to launch our project. I'm going to shrink my screen so it fits in this display window here. There we are. Okay. And by default, it comes up with some of our summary info. We're going to go ahead and leave all these defaults as they are. What we want to do is open up the integrated interface builder. And so within our project here on the left-hand side, we want this far left browser tab selected. And if by chance you don't see it, this view area up here on the top right controls the visibility or invisibility of that navigator. So go ahead and make sure that's clicked so you can see it. We want this nib file here. It's called an XIB, but the interface builders used to be called NIB, which was a binary file. The XIB is an XML file, but the name nib has stuck around. So I'll go ahead and click on that. Note, you do not want the main window nib. You want the Hello World view controller nib. Okay, or whatever you called your application. It's going to begin with your application name followed by view controller. And here we have our interface builder built into our development environment. Now, if you used older versions of xCode, you'll know that it would have launched a separate application, and you would have kind of toggled back and forth. But in this new version, they are both integrated together. So now that we have our view here, we want to add a button. Okay, so within our button here, we are going to hide, we want to show our utilities, which is this right option there. See, we can toggle that back and forth. And then at the bottom of here, we have 4 sets of icons. We want the third one there, the object library, okay? And that's going to show us all of our objects available to us. Simple ones from the buttons and labels to complicated map and web ones. And the button is right near the top. And we're just going to go ahead and drag that onto our view here, okay? And let's come over here and expand that all the way over. And then up at the top here, up our top, these are our various property elements, property inspectors for our selected element. And so we want this one here, this attributes inspector, and we want to set the title to Hello World. Like so, okay? I'll hit the tab button. This doesn't hit tab yet. It shows up in our preview. And at this stage, we can actually go ahead and run our application. So I'm just going to come up here and click the run button. xCode automatically saves it for us. And then it builds it. And then it compiles it. And we should see our interface build, or our simulator here. Yeah, sure enough, here's our simulator. So it's loading. And here we are. There's our Hello World button. And we can click away on it. It's not doing anything because we haven't defined anything yet, but this is a good start. So go ahead and we can close that. Hit the home button to stop it, or we can hit stop up here. Okay, so now we want our Hello World button to actually do something. So what we're going to do here is we are going to open up what's called the assistant editor. Okay, and that's up here at the top under the editor buttons. It's a little icon that I guess is meant to look like a tuxedo. So this is our assistant. So we click on him. Okay, and so our code shows up on the bottom. By default, it actually shows up on the right, and you can change that up here in view. You can say view, assistant layout, and you can have assistant editors on the right, like so. And typically I find that just the way my screen is laid out, it's handier to have the assistant at the bottom, like so. Okay. So what we want to do is link our button to our source code. And you can see in this jump bar here, the assistant is set to automatic. And so he's saying, look, you're probably going to want to do something to the header file, which is the correct case. So what we want to do is just leave it at that. So we should see just a real basic Hello World view controller here. And we want to put some code right there, namely a method definition. And so the way that works is you come here to your button, go ahead and click on it, then hold down the control key on your keyboard. Okay, I'm holding mine down right now. And then I'm going to drag, I'm going to press the Hello World button and drag a line to just under the closing bracket, okay? Now it's actually kind of giving you hints as I'm dragging as to the different types of things it can create. Here within the brackets it can create an outlet or an outlet collection. And then below it, it can create an outlet-out collection, or there you see the addition of an action. And we want an action at this point, okay? And then we just let go. Okay, and then a little dialog window pops up. And now it's going to ask us which of the three we want to create. Okay, so we want to create an action. Okay, so it pops open a new little form. And then the most important one here is name. And this is what we want to call our method, okay? We're going to call it do click hello button, okay? Just like that. The other options you can leave as the default. They'll come in handy later on if you have a bunch of buttons that maybe you want them to all to call the same function and you want the function to be able to differentiate between them. But for now, we're just going to care about the name and leave everything else and then click connect. Okay, and voila. There we have our method definition. It's an InterfaceBuilder action. It's called do click hello button, and it's sending the function information about itself. Okay, so that's in the header file. So now let's come back up here and take a look at the implementation file, the .m, that corresponds with this header file. And there's a number of ways we can look at it. We can come up here and click on it in the project browser. But I like to come here to our jump bar and go from automatic to this top level objects. There are only 4 of them in this simple example. and we want HelloWorld ViewController.m.